Donald Trump is weakness masquerading as strength. He puts on this fake tough guy act, pretends like he can impose his will on the rest of the world, but when he is met with any criticism, when Donald Trump is met with conflict, he instantly capitulates. It's what we've seen with his failed trade deals, and it's what we've seen as he succumbs to Putin, because Donald Trump is in love with dictators, and it is the reason why the rest of the leaders of our Democratic allies are standing up to Trump, with one in particular bringing the fire and fury, ripping Trump to shreds in a vulgar leaked phone call that we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into how a furious Trump was humiliated on the phone, I want to start with a different world leader calling him out, President Zelensky, who made it clear he's going to keep standing up to Putin.
Told President Trump and all our European allies, Putin is bluffing. He's trying to push before the Alaska meeting on all directions of our front line. Russia wants to occupy the whole of Ukraine. This is his wish. And Putin is bluffing that sanctions is nothing and they don't work. In fact, sanctions are hitting Russian war economy hard. It's true. Russia has a lot of weapons, many times over than we have. Artillery, let's say, for three times more, but they sustaining 3 times more losses. And I said about it to our European friends, to President Trump, that Putin definitely does not want peace. He wants to occupy Ukraine. And we all understand that Putin cannot fool anyone. We need future and further pressure and European and American sanctions against Russia. And together, our union of partners can stop war of Putin's. We spoke about the Alaska summit. We hope that the central topic will be the ceasefire, immediate ceasefire. President Trump was mentioning it many times. He suggested that after the Alaska meeting, we will have a contact and we'll discuss all the results, if there will be results, and we'll decide our next common steps.
Our European allies are doing right now what we should have been doing all along under Donald Trump's presidency, but what we knew was never coming. Rallying behind President Zelensky, standing up for the democracy in Ukraine, standing up to a war criminal in Vladimir Putin. But no, Donald Trump loves dictators, he loves strongmen, because he is so weak and so insecure himself. But this is not just an embarrassment for Donald Trump. This is unfortunately an embarrassment for the rest of our country. Although the Trump presidency in so many ways is corrupt, is criminal, and is constantly causing consternation for us every day, it's also just embarrassing on the world stage that this is the guy who is representing us. And Senator Mark Kelly called that out right here.
And I've got to say, I know you talked to Mark Ruta earlier in the Ambassador about the visit on Friday in Alaska, and Margaret, I hope we got something out of this. Putin is a war criminal. This is not a show of strength to allow him to fly into the United States, to land here to negotiate with our president. I don't know for certain. I don't know what was the ground rules that were set for this negotiation, but I would expect that this administration should have extracted something for this visit.
And we're trying to seek those details ourselves.
This is such a weak move from Donald Trump, and more than anything, this guy who claims to be the master negotiator, the master deal maker, is undermining his own position, rolling out the red carpet for Putin like it's him who we need to welcome to make a deal. Donald Trump always talks about who has the cards and who doesn't, but he appears to be weak. He's putting his cards on the table and saying, "Oh, dear Vlad, just say something nice about me, Vlad. You've been so mean to me. If you just flatter me, if you bring me a gift, it's all I need." Donald Trump is an embarrassment. This is not strength. He is easily intimidated. He is easily won over. And it's why A world leader who is not afraid of Putin got Trump on the phone, tore him to shreds, and it has our petulant child president furious. Trump didn't like that. Phone call with European leaders leaves President Trump fuming. Donald Trump was on the receiving end of some harsh language during a call with European leaders ahead of his summit with Vladimir Putin. The U.S. president told Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and other leaders on Wednesday that he hoped to achieve a ceasefire and get a better understanding of whether a peace deal is possible during Friday's meeting with the Russian president, two sources familiar with the call told Axios. Trump had downplayed the likelihood of major breakthroughs in Alaska, calling it a feel-out meeting, the website reported, but French President Emmanuel Macron and the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, who were also on the call, both confirmed afterwards that Trump says he wants to try to obtain a ceasefire. Zelensky warned Trump during this call, which lasted more than an hour, that Putin cannot be trusted, and according to a knowledgeable source, who added that Trump told the leaders that land swaps would be necessary for a peace deal, Trump said it's Vladimir and Vladimir who have to discuss territories with each other, not him, the source said. Merz and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte were both very active on the call, according to the source, with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni raised some good points, and the Polish president reminded Trump of the Battle of Warsaw exactly 105 years ago when Poland fought together with Ukrainians against the Bolsheviks in Russia, but one leader angered the U.S. president. A source who was on the call said Macron took very tough positions and told Trump a meeting is a very big thing to give Putin. Axios reported, quoting the source, Trump didn't like that. Of course, Trump didn't like that. Of course, Trump doesn't like when it is pointed out how weak he is. But he is that weak, and we see it all across the country, not just with governors standing up to Donald Trump's economic idiocy, but of course, Governor Gavin Newsom not only fighting back against Donald Trump's gerrymandering plan with his own redistricting effort in California, which we have an update for come tomorrow, but also mocking Trump online in a beautiful and brilliant way that was so perfectly broken down right here by Nicole Wallace.
For better or for worse, it's not the sort of thing you can fake. There's no substitute, no alternative, no replacement. But without it, political parties of any and all stripes have learned again and again, perhaps some more recently than others, that without genuine grassroots enthusiasm, authentic excitement among the vast majority of your voters, electorally, you are toast. So you can understand why Democrats are starting to feel like they've got their mojo back today, the wind back in their sails, thanks to a rather unexpected issue. What NBC News calls the, quote, burning hot center of Democratic politics right now, the battle over redistricting. It started in the state of Texas, where today Texas Governor Greg Abbott is once again threatening the Democratic lawmakers who fled that state in order to deny Republicans a quorum as they endeavor to rip up Texas's congressional districts mid-decade. Abbott says once the legislature's special session ends Friday, he plans to immediately begin a new one until he can push through his new, even more Republican-friendly map, a special request from Donald Trump. One of those Democrats outside of Texas state lines right now is Representative James Tallarico. Fox News invited him on their air yesterday to talk gerrymandering, and this is how it went.
You gave the ballgame analogy. In my view, what has happened here is you've done something in certain states, and you don't like it when it's done in Republican states. And now you're saying you've done the same thing as us. You've done the same thing as us, and we are going to, by the way, if you do it, we're going to ratchet it up even more, in the words of Gavin Newsom.
My party has never gerrymandered in the middle of the decade at the request of the President of the United States, nor would we. The only way this is going to happen in blue states is if Texas executes this power grab. You mentioned Massachusetts. Right. Do you know the party of the governor that signed that map into law? He was a Republican. It was a Republican governor that signed that map into law. So I just want to be clear with our facts, and I don't want to muddy the waters. All of us, whether we're Democrats, independents, or Republicans, we should stand up to politicians who don't want to face accountability at the ballot box. That's exactly what's happening here. And I asked you, if Republican policies are popular, why do they need to redraw these maps? Why can't they just run on their policies?
I'm getting wrapped on time. I'm enjoying this conversation. I want to let it go on.
Will Cain looks like he needs a lifeline. But it isn't just Texas Democrats who are now vowing to fight fire with fire in what Democrats see as what it is, a Republican power grab. But their party allies, other Democrats, have entered the fray as well. California's Governor Gavin Newsom, for instance, has spent the better part of the week masterfully trolling Donald Trump online. It culminated in an all-caps threat written in very Trumpian style to make sure he understood it, I guess. Quote, Donald Taco Trump, as many call him, quote, missed the deadline, exclamation point. California will now draw new, more beautiful maps. They will be historic, as they will end the Trump presidency. Dems take back the House. Big press conference this week with powerful Dems and Gavin Newsom, your favorite governor, that will be devastating for MAGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, whatever happens in California or Texas or Illinois or anywhere else, it's clear Democrats have some momentum back. They're energized, not just by the issues, but by their own voters who are all too eager to see them fight. Social media posting language, quite an epic troll of him. But on the substance of this, where do you see this fight?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, people are energized, and if Texas is going to punch, California is going to punch back harder. And people are right now in a fighting mood. This has united the party. We're ready to push back. And this is the way Donald Trump has made it clear that how he wants to rig the 2026 election. A lot of us have been kind of contemplating how he's going to try to rig the 2028 election. No, it's the 2026 election is how he's going to plan on doing it. And so we support the governor's effort. He is punching back just as he should be. We are all behind this effort. And what we're going to do in California is not just match Texas seat to seat. We're going to ensure that all of our members that are in tougher seats are also in bluer seats. And so we're going to build a firewall in our state. And we're in this fight because Donald Trump wants to be in it. And the only thing that Donald Trump understands is brute force.
I have absolutely loved what we have seen from the comms team with Governor Newsom. They are fantastic. And I so appreciate the rest of the California Democrats who have immediately gotten on board. I know there are some people saying, well, you know, two wrongs don't make a right. I don't know if we want to go for it. No, we're not doing that. Not hearing any of that BS. I'm glad that the legislature in California is moving forward with this plan. I'm glad that we have seen such a fight out of Democrats in Texas. We're going to be cheering them on this show. We're going to be bringing you all the info you need if you want to support that. And of course, stay up to date. As always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.